Okay, thank you for my beautiful friend Alexis for coming and having a chat with me about love for humanity. You've heard a little bit about it. It's kind of a different concept, different process. So I haven't really talked to many people about it yet, but it was something I received back in 2015, this concept, and just recently just told, got to do it. So you have kindly come along to have a chat with me about it so we can just kind of open up the conversation around what it is all about, because even me, when I talk to people about it, I kind of find out more because it's just all received information. So I kind of just try and grab as much as I can when I can. And I'm so grateful for you to come along and have a chat with me about it today. So thank you, Alexis.
You're welcome.
So you're going to ask me some questions, and I will explain a little bit about love for humanity, and we'll just see what the universe has got in store for us, really. Thank you. I'm very, very grateful for you and your time, considering we've already chatted for about an hour and a half. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, darling, first question. What is, in your opinion and belief, perception, whatever, the purpose of love for humanity as you see it in this moment?
Okay, so as I said, Love for Humanity came along back in 2015, and I was actually shown, it looked like a multi-level marketing system, which kind of freaked me out because I don't like multi-level marketing systems. But I was shown that that instead of money going up and down the system, it's sharing. So it's like everyone's sharing and learning from each other, and that when everyone together like helps and learns and shares together and works together, and that spreads, that people again, when they're operating from that place of self-empowerment, they know themselves, they know why they're here, they feel loved and supported, all that kind of thing, they actually won't be behaving or acting or reacting from a place of not who they are. So it's like when everyone, if the more people in the collective or in the world or in humanity that actually start to know themselves, know what they're doing, they're open to continue to learn and to grow, not only just within themselves but together. And it's actually, we were just talking before about how beautiful it is to just like learn and grow and talk together. I mean, that's why we've been on the call now for about an hour and a half before we press play, because it's just beautiful to just talk and share and to learn and to grow from each other. And as we were saying before, everyone has different perceptions around, how they see themselves, how they see the world, what they're here for and everything else. And it's great to just have that deep knowing, like that sense within yourself that you just know everything you need to know, but you're open to learn more and to grow. And that's what I kind of see is happening as this evolutionary process. So as we kind of said before, it's like, it's an evolutionary process to growth. And if we didn't have this evolutionary process, we would still be single organisms in the sea. We have evolved to being where we are now, and as we can see with kids that are coming through now, they're different to us. And one generation, like there's a difference between them and us, like in the one generation shift, and you go, this humanity is changing so quickly. And to be honest, I think we have to be up with it. I think we have to be really up with what's really going on within us, within our children, within the next generation, within the world, especially with what we've gone through. Like, it's obvious that things are changing really quickly. And for what's happening in the world right now, we cannot deny that change is happening really quickly. And look how it's being facilitated not only within us, but in this external world. And I am excited because I think that there's something to learn from all of it. And we need to be open to learn so much more, but we can't do that on our own. As I often say, if we were meant to do it on our own, we would have incarnated on our own, but we haven't. We're here together. And I just think it's beautiful just doing things together and sharing experiences together, holding space for each other. But then also acknowledging that we all see things differently. I do see, though, that we are starting to go down a pathway of similar philosophies, where we're starting to, again, tune into our inner soul and our inner strength and wisdom, that it's starting to show us that we are starting to see things very similar, and there are a lot of similarities in how we're starting to see things, especially in the spiritual realm, that we can't all be getting the same messages for no reason. So I think it's really beautiful to celebrate that, and to know that we're not on our own. We are all here to learn and to grow from each other. But then also I think it's really important, while we're learning and growing from our families and friends and our experiences that we have support while we're doing that as well, because there are still tough things to deal with. I mean, if we had no lessons to learn, we would be angels floating around in the sky. So we are here to continually learn and to grow. So really what this platform is really a lot of support, learning, growing, sharing our experiences, sharing what we're learning. And then, we each other can pick up from each other the things that we want to take to move forward. And, I've even moved away from the whole teaching thing and the telling and everything else, because it's not that. Everyone has a choice, and everyone can choose to think and believe whatever they want, because really that's why we're here. That's part of the experience. And I think if humanity was all open to that, do you think it might look a little bit different?
Very different.
I think it's really important that as humanity, that we all appreciate that we are all different, but we can also have those shared experiences as well. So really it's a base platform for that, but I can see that there's so much else that it can do. And as we evolve, I know that this platform will evolve as well, but I do see it not really as my thing. I see it as our thing, this humanitarian process of learning and growing, and that we can just all hold space and help each other, however that looks. So does that answer the question?
Yes, definitely.
Great.
So you've already pretty much, I'll just keep going.
Did I answer the next question too?
A little bit, yeah. So we'll probably dive into a bit more of the detail. How does the program work and what's involved?
Sorry, I had a bit of noise in the background there. But that's all finished. They just closed the doors for me. So, sorry. So ask that question again.
Okay. So how does the program that we're talking about this particular time, how does it work and what's actually involved?
Okay, so what I was showing and the way it's already operating, and we already have people doing it already, is there's 3 levels of the platform, which again, each one are going to keep evolving. So, and I have been showing that the base program, if you want to call it, is for free for anyone. So anyone can sign up and they can continually learn from what we're sharing in the Love for Humanity program. So every week there will be a free class that people can attend to through Zoom. It's also recorded on YouTube and anyone can access that. And they'll also get access to a newsletter, which is again sharing concepts and ideas and everything. I have been showing that if this information is coming through for us to share, it's not meant to be held on to.
No.
Like if people people want to learn and to grow, they can continue to do that with the free information that we share. And it's probably what we talked about before is like the DIY option of the program. And so as well as the newsletter, there's also an ebook which has the base concepts of the philosophies and things like that, which again, that's going to evolve and grow as it keeps going. So that'll keep getting updated with new philosophies and new ways of being as we go along. So and I just really love that sharing to everyone, not just those who can afford to be part of it. And really the only thing that people are really paying for as we go along is actually for each person to continually earn income. So it's like everyone's actually got the option to earn income from this while they're learning and growing, and that's the real basis of it. But the free option is really just that we're not meant to hold on to information. I mean, in the past, that was a selling technique, that you need to hold on to information for people to come and join you. Well, that's actually not what we do. It's mainly open to everyone to learn and to grow. And if someone wants to continue to do the work at home and they get it, and that's fine and that's good. But as we've talked about, you know, if we were meant to always be on our own, then we would have incarnated on our own. So it's actually more fun to do it with others. So that's where the next option, which I call the apprentice option, which is the continual learning and growing, and continual learning and growing together, and opening up for options to go deeper into the work that we're learning, going deeper into self. And by learning more about, again, as I said, learning more about yourself allows you to turn up into the world as yourself, and that you can then react and behave from that place. So there's no lack of clarity, there's no lost, there's nothing. It's just a continual process of just inner wisdom. And really, that's never ending. We did talk about, how long is this going for? I said, how long is life? It's like, if we can commit to continually growing and learning, it's even like we're moving away from the fixing things and the having to clear things. It's like we're going deeper into who we actually are and getting access to more information rather than the other ways. So the other thing I was showing is that we're moving into a new way to human. So it's like there is a new way to be a human on this planet. And I think a lot of kids that are coming through now are really great examples of those as well. But they will trigger the old traditional programming that we have had. So really that middle range platform, if you want to call it, is a getting into the subconscious, clearing up the programs that are in there, getting deeper into ourselves, and then again showing up as to who we really are. And just as we've experienced before, when you do tune into yourself and you show up as who you are just peace. Like there's nothing else. We even talked about, going interdimensionally and having different experiences. It's like when you're in that place, you're actually fine. And then using our life. So in the group work that we do in that middle range apprentice program is looking at our own lives, like what's coming up for us that we need to look at. And sometimes when you're doing your own work, if it's subconscious, it's hard to get access to it.
Yep.
It's very hard to get access to it. So that's where that middle range platform allows us to go deeper past that subconscious and deeper into, what's really going on. And again, it's only really facilitated through working together. So that's what that middle range option is. And then the professional level is really, and this is what people say to me all the time, Kim, I just want to do what you do. And I'm like, okay, you can. So it's like helping other people and starting to not only share all of the experiences that we have in the collective group that we have, but also your own gifts. Like when people have their own gifts, everyone's got their own modalities and things that they've learned. And again, this is a great way when we have a great network of people, use that to share your own gifts and to share your own experiences, whatever works. And then you'll find that someone else in the network may come and want to work with you. And then, again, we're all continually to learn and to grow, but you can then start your own teams. And then people can even then start to get their own professional, teams that they can actually grow and learn. And again, I don't know if this makes sense, but the more people that help each other, I just think the world is just going to be a world of people helping each other. And it's just that flow-on effect. And everyone's just going to come from that place of inner peace and love and joy. I also say it's really a really big important part of this is a lot of people say, I don't have time to do work on myself because I've got to earn money. And that never sat well with me at all. I'm like, no, this is important. And touch wood, I'm lucky that I get paid to do this. And I want others to get paid to learn and to grow as well. Like there's nothing better. There's no job better than learning and growing and getting paid to do it. So that's what I really wanted. And the message I got from the universe was that this is the end of poverty. We don't need to live in poverty anymore. We don't need to live in struggle anymore. I really see this as a platform for building everyone a base income, I call it a universal base income, so
Yeah.
that all their bills are provided for, everything's paid for, and then we can just really just live our passion and joy and just follow that. And then by doing that, we are continually learning and growing and creating and changing and sharing. And again, you know, not coming from a place of lack or you know, nothing's going to stop us from being what we want to be and doing what we want to do. So along with that, I think it's really important when we are doing work here is that we're tuning into that purpose and mission, because it's a very fulfilling feeling when you know that you're doing what you're meant to be doing. We feel kind of lost, and that yearning feeling of wanting to make a difference and to do something when we don't think we're doing that. So a lot of that, this program actually provides the feeling like it's whatever, because everyone's purpose is different, but as long as everyone feels purposeful, like you wake up in the morning and you know that what you're doing is exactly what you're meant to be doing. You know you're making a difference in everyone's lives. You know that you're changing lives, but also you're doing that to yourself as well. So, and then, you know, you've got people who aren't part of the platform or the program, you know, your family and your friends who will naturally benefit from just your way of being. And that's, again, how humanity will turn into love for humanity. Like it's just everyone will just love each other and love the experiences that we have together, so we can move away from struggle and survival into just love and gratitude and joy and peace. And I mean, it might sound, and thriving, yeah, it might sound like pie in the sky, but to be honest, I've been shown the platform and it looks like it could work if we do it together. So I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. But then I just love the concept too, that it's never ending. So it's like a lifelong commitment of just learning and growing together. And this might be another question that you might ask, but I'm just going to jump in there anyway.
Go for it.
You know, it's going to start from these base inclusions, if you want to call it that, of what the platform's going to do. But the platform's going to be so much more as it evolves. So I've been shown that, and I talked to you a little bit earlier about this, is that I always receive, what's the word? It's like information that no one else is doing, or it's more around information of what we can do. And then, you know, I just keep sharing it because other people benefit, right? So, you know, we're going to, in this platform, learn about affiliate marketing so that you can, you know, be sharing products and services that you really love and getting paid to do that. But it's like you want to do that because you love it. So you're earning money that way. There's a whole world of YouTube and sponsorships and, you know, advertising and all that sort of thing on YouTube, which is another way. So I can see it's not only the base income that we can have, we can really make just make a really good go of earning money without much effort. And I always say you can earn money by turning up as you. I always say make money the result, not the reason. And that's exactly what this is about. Like, could you imagine just waking up and just being you all day and just getting paid? Like, to me, I see that as a reality. It kind of is my reality.
And you want to share that?
I want everyone to experience. I don't want people to be in struggle or survival or stress or anything anymore. And especially with how the world's going now, like it's hard. Like people are being forced to change. And it's very, very hard. But I think also that level of support is really important as well. So to cut a long story short, the first option is a DIY process, which is free. The second one is an apprentice process. So it's just like a learning and growing. And then the third one is a business concept, which is support, learning more, and being able to then again start to turn up being you and getting paid.
And you'd also say that there's a sense of community too, because everybody is there for not only their own well-being, but there's always, I feel, an aspect of wanting to help others. So, and I know, Kim, you always seem to attract people that they want to help themselves so that they can help others. So I really feel that that's important.
It's the same concept on the planes when the air hostesses say you've got to put your mask on first before you help your children, I've learned the hard way, and I think a lot of mothers learn the hard way. You cannot help anyone when you are not putting yourself first and helping yourself first. And I found that I actually can help a lot more people when I actually make myself the priority. It sounds really strange because we've been taught that, you know, that's selfless or whatever, but the people who are the martyr or the ones who put themselves last get drained very quickly, and they can't show up and help anyone else. So I found when we actually put ourselves first and work on ourselves first and show up as we are the most important person, what actually happens is our external world mirrors our internal world, so other people feel like they are the most important person. Like, I can give you all my attention, all my love, all my time, because I'm not lacking in anything.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important for us, again, showing up in the world to be able to help others from a place of, I'm actually okay. I'm good. So I can now also help others to be good as well. But then knowing that I feel like the ways that we've been taught in the past, it was a stepping stone, but the ways that we've been taught in the past to get there are just changing. They're just not relevant anymore. We are changing and evolving, and the ways that we're learning about ourselves, think about the whole process of how we deal with other people was very different to how we deal with them now, and we're not really taught to put ourselves first. But what I've seen, when we see something in other people and we always go within, there's always something else to learn about ourselves. And then when we change that, then the external changes as well. And this is what I see with Love for Humanity, is that when we're all kind of good and we're feeling great and we're in this beautiful network of people who are here to love and support each other, then that just flows on to others who aren't even doing it. We're not in that place anymore. We're not in that place anymore of teaching and trying to change people. We just have to be the example.
Yeah. And that actually leads me into because I feel like you would attract quite a few people that are more spiritually minded and very open in that aspect. But I could also see this working for people that are in a lot of different professions. And it's not necessarily that, because the way that it used to be is like, oh, okay, you're a tradie, so you're very much like, for Aussies, you're a blokey bloke and you don't feel your feelings, you just like grunt and whatever. That's all changing, mind you. But it feels like that there will be those people in different professions that may end up connecting with this. And it could be that whoever is actually doing the work that they connect with, it'll be the energy that they're attracted to. And whether they continue on, they'll still have that effect. And I feel that goes with, connecting with your own family and friends, and you're being that example. You're not forcing it on them, you're not pushing it. But I feel like because things will be changing and shifting, you'll have these other people come through that I might not necessarily, and I don't know about you, have thought they would be interested in that particular field. What do you think about that?
I 100% agree, because we are seeing, and to be honest, the language, I don't know if you've noticed, the language I use tends not to really be that spiritual. Like, even the word awareness is something that I kind of use loosely, because a lot of this work is around awareness of self, awareness of what's going on. But I do have to teach this also to a lot of people already, and I do not teach, share it. I've had to work with young kids and things like that who don't know what the word awareness means, or evolution or anything like that. So it is really easy to bring it back to basics. Even the word spiritual to me has never sat well with me, because I think we are all spirits in a body. So how can we be spiritual when we already are? Yeah. But I think it's more coming back to, again, you talk about the language we use and how we speak, how we refer to things. I think the real basis is, again, feelings, thoughts, self, getting to know ourselves. Like, that is the essence of all of this. And once we know ourselves, it actually changes a lot of things for us. I know I watched a series recently where they had a painter painting Winston Churchill, and it was based on a true story. And Winston Churchill saying to the artist, he's saying, make sure you get this angle of me and that angle of me, and that you come across of me being this amazing politician and everything else. And the artist actually said, well, in actual fact, I find that most people know themselves less than anyone, because you can't see yourself. Like, I even said to my husband the other day, you know, let's have an agreement that if you see something in me and I see something in you that I can't see or you can't see, let's bring it up, because you can't see yourself. And again, this is why sometimes it's good to work with a group or other people who can see things that you can't see. And it's not from a place of right or wrong, good or bad. It's just from an awareness. And sometimes initially it doesn't make sense. I mean, think about, you know, when you do work on yourself and something comes up and you go, well, that doesn't make sense, especially metaphysical work and, you know, all that sort of, oh, that doesn't make sense, Louise, hey. But down the track, it eventually does, and it's through awareness. And so I do see, especially even in friendship groups, you probably find it too, you start to see people starting to really have, and I just call it deep conversations. They're just deep conversations. Any other word doesn't really resonate to me, because how much fun are deep conversations?
So much.
They're the best. And I think if we could have an amazing platform where deep conversations occur. The other thing I didn't mention, but it's just come to me now, is the evolutionary process of the platform, which is going to have and I don't know who's doing this yet, I will wait until the universe sends them to me, is where there's going to be an amazing online platform with a whole heap of free resources for everyone, whether it's podcasts and courses and all that sort of thing. So this platform is going to be a learning platform, an online learning platform for anyone, as well as the people who end up doing the work with us. And eventually what will happen is there'll be events where we can be together and really enjoy, again, the deeper conversations. I really think that's where we're going. So when you say, well, you know, Joe Blow or whoever off the street is interested, who doesn't like talking about themselves? Like, really?
Yes.
At the end of the day, if people can learn about themselves, then they're happy. They're happy. And there's so many unhappy people who can easily be happy just through getting to know themselves. So I didn't really see that before now.
I was going to say, you said that perfectly, because I was like, most unhappy people are people that don't understand who they actually are.
Or it's about other people, like it's about how they treated me or how this happened. And it's like, and it takes a little while to understand the concept, but when you do actually live in this world of self-awareness and the journey of self, I think you start to understand what actually exists within you. Again, I just ran a free class for Love for Humanity this morning, which was all about, what does it mean to go within? What does it mean to listen to your soul, to get the wisdom? Like, how do you do it? And I had examples, like people came in and said, okay, I've got this going on. How do I get access to my soul wisdom? It's like, yep, I will show you how you do it. And so when we, I mean, traditionally, when we do connect to that part of ourselves, and whenever life is hard, which life can be hard sometimes, we're not saying that it's not going to be hard, but we're going to say that when something happens, you tune into this part of yourself, which is a knowing, a being, an understanding, strength, empowerment, like everything is within you, but it takes a little while to get there. You know, I mean, we talked about this earlier, you know, you can feel it now, but you know, also we can forget even now. I forget all the time that I have it, and it's great to have reminders. I'm just very lucky that I've got to the stage where it clicks in when I need it. But we are just, you know, humans evolving into a new way of being. And I think it is just when we're okay inside, everything external is okay. Like it just is. And we can't deny that. It's a real simple fact. It just happens. I don't know why. It just
had this visual of a person, and they're like, their strength is, they're so solid in themselves, and then you've got like this cyclone going around them, and they're just like in the eye of the storm, and they're like so calm and peaceful, because even though that's all happening out there, they're okay, they're perfect, they're happy, they're loved, they're everything.
And it's that knowing. It's hard to explain knowing
until you experience it. And even
it's hard to explain being until you experience it.
But it's like anything, unless you experience it, there is no language that can actually get across, because people don't have anything in their experience to actually compare it to.
I think that's really what this platform's doing, is allowing people to experience it and how to experience it. And even, you know, if someone hasn't experienced inner peace and all they've experienced is inner turmoil, that doesn't make sense. It just doesn't. So how do you get from turmoil to peace? Well, this is how we do it. Like, that's what we're doing here. I didn't know that either.
Learning something new every day, every moment.
It's beautiful. I just think it's going to be a beautiful journey, and I do see it as a journey. It's not something that is, I'm going to do that for a year and see how it goes. It's like, hey guys, let's have an awesome life together.
Yeah.
And let's see where it takes us, because we are evolving. Like, how much fun, again, because some of the things that happen to us in this life are scary. They're strange, they're weird, they're daunting. I think if we just have that knowing that we're not on our own, which, you know, we've got nearly 8 billion people in the world, but yet people still feel like they're on their own. And that's important to me, that people don't feel that. And again, by tuning into yourself and doing that work, it ends up evolving into, I've never been alone the whole time. But until you've experienced that, you don't know that. So there's so much that we can share on this platform, and it's endless. It's endless. But I don't see it as one person sharing a message. It's like everyone sharing everything, and just that collective energy of love for humanity.
Exactly.
It's all it is, really. And we're trying to make it a practical platform, which has been difficult for me to do. But I think by doing this, having a chat with, you know, you and anyone else, and just starting to get the ball rolling, however that looks, is fun in itself. It's gorgeous. So
it's all unfolding. I love it.
Yes. Any other fun questions you've got for me that I can get some more stuff?
Spoken about it. I've already spoken about that.
And I'm open to any really tough questions, because I need to know the answer to.
So we kind of touched on this, like, what are the benefits for me? So basically, by doing the work, each level has something to offer, and it all kind of grows on itself and evolves. It's everything comes back to self anyway, and you do the work, you're benefiting yourself and your loved ones too, and out into the world. So,
and the thing is knowing you're making a difference just by putting yourself first. It's awesome.
And that's a really interesting concept, because for most people, that's going to be one of the little obstacles. That'll be like, what? Working on me and making myself happy is going to make other people happy?
But in reality, they'll see it.
Yeah.
I've even seen, you know, say for example, you know, if someone, you know, walks into like today and goes, you know, you can tell that they're angry or annoyed or whatever, how easy is it to pick up on it?
Oh, so easy.
And then you become annoyed, you can see it again when you're in awareness. You go, that's not really mine, but how easy is it to pick up on it? And again, this is what the world's going through. We're not aware that we're doing that. But if we were aware and when you come from a place of, I mean, I've experienced this and this is how I can share it, is coming from a place of awareness. The first reaction is when someone's angry or cranky or frustrated or whatever, and they come into a room and you just go, well, I'm so sick of you being angry and frustrated. Makes you angry and frustrated. And then having awareness that that's what's happening. I remember that happened to me once, and instead of me saying, getting annoyed and pissed off, because, I mean, I did initially, because that's what always happens. But all of a sudden, the words that came out of my mouth are you okay? And then allowed that person to then go, actually, no, I'm not. And I just went, how easy was that? Just to break those cycles.
Yes.
And the patterns and the processes that we've always done. And if we want to create something new, we have to do things differently. And the other thing that popped up too when you were talking before is about working on ourselves, because that sounds like it takes a lot of effort. What I want to do here, what we want to do here, or the universe, whoever is helping us with this, is to make our life our life is important. Our life is what we're working on. It's what's showing up for us now. How am I feeling? What are my thoughts? What's happening? And that's important, I think. I think if everyone can make that a priority, and as I said, and still get paid, like, could you imagine that humanity will evolve and grow so beautifully into a really aware planet? I mean, we haven't even talked about the replications of the environment, because again, the planet is a representation of us. So again, when we work on ourselves or on our lives and make our lives, like I say, make your life the case study. Make that the thing that's going to help you to evolve and to grow, and anything that's coming up is your purpose. And so when we do that and we're acting from that place of peace and love, our behaviors will change, of course, with how we deal with the planet. But also, again, the energy that we create within us of that peace and love, the planet will naturally represent that as well. So a lot of people kind of say, oh, there's so much work that needs to be done in the environment, or even in saving the sex trade or whatever. And it's like, I just know that this is my job. And everyone has their job. And so it's like, when you know what your job is, you don't get stuck with everyone else's jobs. Everyone has given, like, if you think about it, there's only 8 billion people on the planet, and each one of us has a role here. And can you imagine if you worked out what yours is?
Yeah.
And you just did that. Did you think that if everyone just knew their role and how they're meant to make a difference in everyone else's lives, then we will be okay.
We'll be more than okay.
We will be more. But it is just everyone's being who they are. I think a lot of us don't have permission to do that.
Oh, we either don't have permission that comes from ourselves, or we've taken it from other people that we haven't got permission to be ourselves.
Yeah.
Lots of programming.
Oh, we don't know what that is.
Don't know. But that's really interesting, because I was going to say something. And now
I did rudely interrupt.
That's okay. The thing, like, people getting caught up in their purpose and their missions. And it feels like a lot of people scrabbling around, and they're all a little bit lost because they're like, oh, go this way and I go this way. And then you have that whole overwhelm because people go looking and they go searching, and there's so much out there. And then, but when they come back to themselves and they go into that place, it's like they don't have to go searching.
No, it's all there. I think, but there is a stepping stone to all of that. And it's very interesting in the work that we've been doing, because I have been doing this work in other groups well before this has come along. So I kind of have got some little tools up my little sleeve that I'll be sharing with people, but also I want other people to share their own tools and things that have helped them. And I mean, again, a beautiful platform for everyone to share everything. It's just gorgeous. And the other thing that I wanted to share quickly is because it's an ongoing membership concept, it means everyone gets paid every month. So we just have, again, a knowing that I'm always going to be earning money, but then we can keep showing up like even bigger and better than before. But I don't know where we're going with that.
Well, I feel like that takes out the pressure. Like, I've got to make money so I can pay my bills and blah, blah, blah. When you take that pressure off and everyone, we all get to a place where we're all, money's flowing, and it's not I've got to make money. It's I'm receiving and I'm giving and I'm receiving. There's no struggle in that. It just works.
And it changes us when we struggle. When we struggle and survive, I mean, toilet paper. That's all I can say. Toilet paper. Look what happens when we think our survival is...
Because people contract. And we want to expand, because expanding is what we naturally are meant to do. But by contracting, that's when we pulled. And sometimes we need to do that because there are those rhythms, those cycles that we need to expand and contract. But if we contract for too long, when your muscles get a cramp and your muscle contracts, if it stays that way for too long, it hurts. So that's what you just go, okay, I need to expand again. So then it doesn't hurt.
And the process of expansion, like if you talk about expansion, especially in the evolutionary process, I mean, yes, there is expansion and contraction, but what I'm seeing when you are in a rhythm of the process of expansion and contraction, what I'm seeing is the contraction is more from a place of space and time. I just need space and time, rather than I have a fear or I'm scared, or it's not from a protection place. It's from a place of quiet.
It's almost like the word itself has so many different meanings that can be applied to it.
And really, this is where we're going. We are moving into an evolutionary process, which is saying this means one thing in one state of mind, but it means this in another state of mind. And it's very easy to shift them through awareness. And again, when we listen to stories and we hold space for each other and we receive what we need to receive, you'll easily find the difference. But again, until you experience one, you don't know what the other looks like. Contraction is painful. And sometimes, especially in the isolation world that we're in now, contraction has been very painful in a lot of different ways. And sometimes it's just our own heads that we're trying to run away from. And in most cases we are. What I can see in the future is that we operate from our soul, and that our head still has a purpose, but it's not running the show anymore. It's literally, we are being guided by our soul and our purpose and why we're here, rather than the thinking and the programming that we've had. So there's again, I really see everyone's journey individually. Like everyone has an individual journey. Everyone sees things completely differently. Like you can be in a family of 4 people and every person will see things completely different. So it's like, how do we get along? We have to understand these basics. And until we do, and then start using each other to bring stuff out of ourselves, if you're frustrating me, or if I'm annoyed with you, or you've done this to me, let's keep going within, because the answers are always in there. And once you nail it, the external starts to change. They don't treat you that way anymore. You don't have those experiences anymore. And this is, again, when we move from survival and struggle and lack and protectiveness through to thriving and expansion. And we see more of that than the contraction. Because, again, as physical beings, our bodies respond. Our bodies respond to survival or thriving. And it's like, again, I've just read a book around that, where it's like when we are in one, we can't be in the other as well. They can't both happen at the same time. And that's really interesting to know. You can either be in one or the other. You cannot be in both. So when you look at that, doesn't that give us a choice?
It's knowing that you have that choice.
Yeah. And I think that's where we're moving, is knowing we always have a choice. And no matter what's currently happening, the next moment is a brand new moment, and we always have a choice in each brand new moment. And there's so much I can go into around all of that, but we would be here all day.
We would be.
Which we've experienced so far.
And you've answered every single one of my questions brilliantly. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me delve into this deeper. Again, as I said, this is the process, like going deeper and talking about things that are important. I mean, who wants to do that? It feels good. It's exciting. It's liberating. It's expansive. And it's really beautiful when you can have these kind of conversations and not expect the other person to think the same way, and to listen, like to really listen. They always say two ears and one mouth.
Yes.
We're meant to listen. We're meant to appreciate. We're meant to understand. And I think there's a lot of ways that we can turn up to be the example from that place. And that's what I see for this, is for all of us to rise to the occasion of being who we are, be the example of who we are, and owning it with no excuses. There's no excuses anymore. You can't use money as an excuse, because we are setting up a platform that will allow you to earn and learn.
I love it.
I love it too. So I'll be sharing shortly, you know, how people can join up. And I'm going to be getting together the platform to make it more of a solid platform. It is a very big online platform, and I'm not a techno, so it's going to start very basic. At first, it's always going to start basic, and it's just going to evolve. But the level and the basis of being together, working together, is always going to be there. So that's the basis how it's always going to be, and then how it's going to evolve is extremely exciting, because there's no end. There's no end. So thank you, my love. Thank you so much for allowing me to share this with you and to talk to you about it. And again, if there's any other questions that come up, message me.
I will.
And for anyone else that listens to this. So I'll finish this up now, and let's see where again this takes us. We'll probably have another chat soon, I'm sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.